it's Dr. Christy Ennis. Welcome to Follow Me Friday as I fall over. Must be Friday. Today we have a standing Pilates video that's great for anybody starting out. You need no equipment except something sturdy to hang on to if you need it, because some of this does work on balance. So we're gonna get started, like I said, standing right away. So we're gonna start with a little march and arms are gonna come up in a little circle. So I'm gonna raise one knee, engage in through those abs, and then add that little circle. And then I'm alternating here as we go. You don't have to count, you don't have to do anything except follow right along with me. I've got my element here with me today in my water bottle, which I always have when I'm working out because it tastes yummy, and I am a sweater. So if you are too, this is a great one to get. It's got 1,000 milligrams of sodium, 200 milligrams of potassium, and 60 milligrams of magnesium, and nothing artificial. And like I said, it actually tastes good too, which is pretty darn amazing. I've got the citrus flavor right now. We're gonna switch it up here to bring those legs a little wider, turn those toes out, and we're gonna come straight down into a plie, opening up those hips, working those inner thighs and those glutes with a little squeeze up at the top. So for my listeners, they are offering a free 8-pack sampler when you place an order if you go to drinklmnt.com/ChristyNS. And you just can place your order right then and there. So make sure as you're doing this, you're trying not to stick your buns out, right? Tailbone under. I'm already breathing heavy. Must be the allergies. We got a lot of those in New England, let me tell you. We're gonna do a few more like this, and then we're adding on to it. So there's one more. And now as I come up, I'm gonna add a little reach over to the side and come back down, crossing in the middle, reach over to that other side. So I'm stretching out that side body and activating it a little bit at the same time. So again, should feel good. All of this should feel good. It's one of the reasons I absolutely love Pilates. Right? We've got a crossover between yoga a little bit, also, and a focus on that core and lengthening and balance. We're gonna do one more on each side, and we're switching it up again. Working all through those hips today too. Yay, good. I'm gonna bring my feet back together. So the narrower you are, the harder it is to balance. So if you need to have your feet a little bit apart, you can. Hands are gonna go behind the head, opening up that chest. If that's too much, you keep them crossed. And I'm gonna take a nice breath in, and as I exhale, I'm gonna turn using my torso, not my hands or my neck, off to one side. So really engaging in through those abs here, and I'm standing up nice and tall, almost like you've got a string pulling that head up. So even as I turn, I'm engaging in through those glutes as well as those abdominal muscles a little bit too. And of course, you're making sure you're breathing. That's key. So don't yank or force, right? Let the abs guide you both as you rotate and as you pull back to the center. That's important. Getting just a couple more here. And then I'm gonna add on a little bit more. All right, from here, you're going to add a little bit of a march along with that rotation. Notice it's still pretty slow and controlled and small moves. If you find, like I almost did there, that you're losing your balance, just stick with that rotation. There's nothing wrong with that. And then as you go on, as you do this more frequently, you can see if you can add that little march in too. Sometimes even just lifting up the heel will help with that a little bit too. We're gonna get one more on each side. And we're moving on. I am gonna face this direction. We are gonna actually come straight back with this leg. So I'm gonna kick it out as I squeeze into that glute. There's a little bit of a bend in that standing leg. You can do whatever you want with that foot that feels comfortable. If it feels good to point your toes, you can, but for me, that usually actually causes some cramping. So notice too, I'm not lifting ridiculously high, because if I did, I'd be arching in through my back. So this is the time if you need to hang on to something, right? Make sure you have it in front of you. And we're gonna do a few more here, and then we're gonna add on just a touch with this one too. So 3 more, that is a few. There's 1, 2, and I'm gonna hold this leg up there, and I'm just gonna add a knee bend and a knee straightens. So now we're working a little bit more into the hamstring. Again, hanging on if you need to, and if you do feel like this is too much to start with, just continue to do that little leg lift there. Again, notice my leg isn't super duper high as I'm lifting. Whoops, and if you, like me, need to put that foot down every once in a while, that's okay too. We're gonna do 2 more. Ooh, hello, hamstrings. I'm gonna turn and face the other direction, and we're of course gonna get the other leg. So same idea, slight bend in that standing knee, leg comes back a little just to start, and we're gonna squeeze and lift. It does sometimes help to put your hands on your hips if you don't need to hang on but need a little extra help with balance. It also helps to find a spot in front of you that is not moving to be able to focus on. It actually helps to focus the brain too. Crazy the way our brains work, let me tell you. We've got 3 more, and then we're adding that little hamstring move. There's 1, 2, try not to grip for dear life with your toes either. 3, keep that leg up, and then bend and straighten for 1. Ooh, this hamstring's tighter. 2, 3. As you're doing this, you're shifting your weight to that standing leg, but you're not leaning. So if you are, make sure you hold on to something. It's not cheating to do that. It's totally okay to do that. Trust me, there are definitely days I need to do that. There's 3 more to go. So here's 3, 2, and 1, and I'm gonna face you guys again. And we're actually gonna get in through that inner thigh a little bit more. So I'm gonna take a bend into the knee, keep my hands on my hips, and I'm gonna scoop it up. So the inside of my foot is lifting, pointing up towards the ceiling, relatively. Again, nice and steady, staying tall, make sure you're not collapsing in. Right, we wanna keep everything working the way it should. Notice too, I'm really trying hard, maybe not 100% successfully, but to not let anything else move with the exception of this hip, right? So I'm not waggling back and forth. No sexy moves today, just the ones we want to do. And we've got 2 more on this side, and then we're switching. That's 1. I can't count to 2 today. Maybe I can. All right, so again, it's just that little shift. Whew. I'm sweating, and we're gonna lift this inner thigh again. Foot comes right up towards that ceiling. And that's 2. 3, it's harder for me on this side. I notice sometimes I grip more with my toes, so really try to consciously let that relax a little bit. Almost there, sort of. 3 more to go. 1, 2, and 3. And we're gonna do 1 more with that leg coming forward. This time the leg is gonna go straight forward, so we're actually working through the front of that hip, but always keep those abs engaged. I don't know why I gave a thumbs up there. Seemed like the right thing to do. You're gonna lift that leg up. Again, pay attention to, if you feel good pointing your toes, go ahead and do it. You'll actually get a little stretch in through the shin. If you don't, just keep that foot hanging out where it is. Squeeze into that quad if you can as well. And again, no locking of that opposite knee. You can keep it nice and straight, but don't hyperextend it back, which means, right, pushing it back. Really trying to keep those hips level as you're raising too, as opposed to doing this. That might get the obliques a little, but maybe not in a good way. And 1 more, and then switching to the other side. Again, having something sturdy on the side to hang on onto right now if you need it. All right, so same idea, a little shift, making sure my abs are still engaged, and then I'm lifting. And I'm going back with my hands on my hips. This side is always harder for me to balance on, because I've had a lot of injuries. 4, that's why I do the job I do. 5, 6, 7, again, point the toes if it feels good. 8, 9, it does on this side, and 10. Good, we've got 1 more exercise to go, and then you'll have worked it all. So you're gonna shift a little bit off to the side. Leg starts by going right out here. My toes are down. I'm gonna keep my toes pointing straight forward as I lift that leg out to the side. You wanna try not to turn out as you come up, or you're gonna be using some other muscles. So that's 2, and I'm even keeping my leg back just a touch so that I really focus on those side hip muscles. And again, of course, balance here too, right? I notice I'm collapsing. I better stand up again. No collapsing. 3 more. 1, 2, 3, and switch sides. My legs are a little shaky. Here we go. So get a little shift. Start with that leg right out, and then we're lifting up. Not hiking, not collapsing, not folding, none of that stuff. Just that little lift. And I will link some other Pilates, another Pilates video for you guys too that, woo, I can't talk. I'm gonna be quiet now. But I will link another video for you as well. We've got one more to go. Oh, nice job, guys. You did it. Make sure to add a little bit of stretching at the end here as well.